Okay, back in the saddle here. After taking a look at that culvert, we've got a couple more to take a look at coming up as we work our way west here. It's just starting to clear here. It is a beautiful fall morning. Like I said, it is the 1st of October. You can see the leaves are turning. Some have already started to drop. Kind of a big tree has dropped here, fallen over. This is a very beautiful section here running alongside Wanogu Creek. Luna and I have our orange on. Hunting season opened a couple of weeks ago, so we're just being safe in case there are any hunters in the vicinity. This is a very, very pretty section of grade here. Always like the fall with the colors. So we have yet another culvert coming up here that we're going to stop and take a look at. Got to check and see if there's a... I believe there is a marker here. This is kind of a busy section. There's a bunch of culverts that we're going to take a look at. You can see the marker coming up right here. So there's the marker, 106.55. Again, that's the Kinghorn mileage. So for the original lines, that would be 56.85. So we'll jump down and have a look at that. Okay, so we're just slightly below the level of the grade here on the north side. The grade is just up there. And so what we have here is another concrete culvert. This one's about a 3-foot diameter one, but what's interesting about it is you can see they've done a little bit of patchwork repair on here. So what they've done, and we've seen this probably a couple of times in other spots, is where they've taken a metal culvert and basically just inserted it into the concrete culvert as a way of just essentially replacing the culvert without actually replacing the culvert. And so I think a lot of the water is actually just sort of scooting underneath the metal culvert, but I would assume that when there is a bit of water in here, it's essentially trying to pick up a lot of the overflow. All right, so we'll hop the grade and go take a look at things on the south side. All right, so we've made our way to the south here, and so you can see the creek flowing southward here toward Wanogu Creek. And then over here, so this kind of explains why they inserted the metal culvert. There's no trace of the concrete culvert. It looks like this last sort of segment here, and I don't see it kind of downstream or anything like that. It looks like the last segment of the concrete culvert was just completely blown out. I don't know if you can see, but I can see quite a ways underneath the metal culvert there. It doesn't really look like there's much supporting it for probably a good 5 feet at least. And so obviously this section here isn't in particularly great shape. I would imagine that probably in some point in the future, you're going to see sort of an erosion of this part of the grade here. All right, so we'll jump back up on the grade here, and we'll just continue plugging our way to the west. All right. Back going again here. We'll see if we get a little bit of sun. It's supposed to be a little bit kind of cloudier today, which is okay. Helps kind of cut down on some of the shadows and things. Hopefully the video's turning out okay. So as I mentioned, this is a redo section. So we were through here in 2 years ago, and I was back through here last fall. Boys and I did a little bit of walking through here, just probably middle of October. Oh, there was a grouse, or as we like to call them, the partridge. There's a telegraph pole here. piece of a telegraph pole. There's Luna darting off to chase the bird. It's this is our first hike since like our first real kind of railway hike since like the second week in August. So it's nice to get out here. Okay, so we have another culvert here. So I believe this is a metal culvert. You can actually see it down there. So 106.60. So again, that translates into 56.90. Before we get going again, if you listen carefully, hopefully you can hear that, you can hear Wanogu Creek running. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll zip you ahead a little bit here until we get to our next stopping point. And you can just enjoy the scenery and the partridge. Even the tamaracks are starting to turn color. Here we're approaching one of these grown-in sections here, so maybe I shouldn't zip through here. This is one of the unfortunate things that's happening with this line. Okay, it is getting grown in. I think somebody has come through this section right from the road that we came in on, mileage 56 road, all the way to near Cameron Falls, which is the next access road. People have gone through and cut the brush a little bit. People will drive their vehicles through, and I'll tell you a funny story when we get to our bridge crossing. So you can see all the alders and things like that are kind of growing in and kind of encroaching on the grade. Okay, so we're at our next stopping point here. We have another culvert. There's the marker. The culvert markers are nice and clear on this section. So you can see the marker 106.91. Again, that is the Kinghorn mileage. So for the original lines, that would be 57.21. So we'll jump down and have a look. So we've made our way down here on the north side of the grade, and so what we have here is a nice little concrete culvert. Very unusual in the fact that we actually have, I'm going to try to carefully go over there, the collar on the culvert. We don't see this very often. The culvert and the collar itself are not in particularly great shape. You can see the culvert here has all been kind of cracked, and the collar here is all kind of cracked along there. I can't tell if we can see through the culvert. Yeah, we can. Looks like it's in okay shape. There's definitely a bit of a sag as it heads underneath the grade. Again, you can see kind of the age of this just by all the moss and stuff that's growing on top of the culvert itself and along the bottom here. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll hop the grade and go take a look at things on the south side. All right, so we've made our way down here on the south side. We're about 40 feet down from the level of the grade, and you can see this little creek flowing. And so what we have here is we have the southern end, the downstream end of this probably about 3-foot diameter concrete culvert. You can see it's one of these, again, one of these unusual ones because it does have the collar on it, which you don't see very often. There's only a few that we generally see like this. I'm going to try to make my way back around this way. It's a little bit difficult because it is very grown in here and it's very wet. So we can kind of see the culvert from the top end. And so you can see the top end here. Lots of trees and things growing on top of the culvert. You can see by the age of it, just the amount of moss that's growing on top of the cement work here. It's pretty extensive layer. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to hop back up on the grade and continue making our way to the west.